Through history, there have been countless events that have shaped our world and left indelible marks of the human experience. One of these events is the famine that swept through the Soviet Union in 1931 and 1933 and affected many countries. Millions of people lost their lives, and Kazakhstan has not become an exception. The famine was not just a tragic loss of life, but a calculated and brutal happening that forever changed the course of Kazakh history. It was a crime against humanity.
The causes of famine in Kazakhstan in 1931 to 1933 were complex and multifaceted. One of the main reasons was the forced collectivization of agriculture carried out by the Soviet government in the late 1920s. The authorities confiscated the property of the rich in order to eliminate social inequality, requested a large amount of grain and other crops, as well as livestock for export and the nutrition of the urban population, leaving the rural population with little means of livelihood. Another major cause was drought and weather conditions that affected the region in the early 1930s. The lack of government response and inadequate assistance have further aggravated the situation.
1932 to 1933, there are 8,731,900 victims of hunger throughout the USSR. 2,400,000 Kazakhs died from hunger and related epidemics, representing 49% of the total number of Kazakhs at the time. The Kazakh population was not restored to its pre-famine levels until almost 40 years later, in 1969. Many Kazakhs also chose to migrate out of the republic in search of food and better living conditions. Most of the population who fled from the Soviet regime moved to the territory of China, Iran, and Afghanistan. In general, 1,130,000 people migrated outside the republic during the famine. From 1928 to 1932, the number of cattle decreased from 6,509,000 to 965,000. Sheep from 18,566,000 to 1,386,000. Horses from 3,616,000 to 416. Camels from 1,042,000 to 63,000.
Collectivization caused fierce resistance of the peasants. A wave of armed demonstrations in Kazakhstan took place in 1929 to 1931. Along with condemning the lawlessness of the authorities, they also touched upon religious issues in their demands. Large masses of people in southern, central, and western Kazakhstan, dissatisfied with the policy of collectivization, flocked to Karakum. The number of rebels reached 5,000 people. During the forced collectivization in Kazakhstan, 372 mass riots and uprisings took place. The leadership of the Kazakh and the Azimkhan of the Republic didn't bear any responsibility to the people for the consequences of the collectivization.
Ultimately, by the most brutal means, the Kazakh famine contributes to the creation of Soviet Kazakhstan, a stable territory with clearly defined borders, which became an integral part of the Soviet economic system. The famine dramatically changed the existing elements of Kazakh identity, such as family ties, loyalty to the inherited elite, and the nomadic lifestyle itself, imposing the category of nationality Kazakh on top of these concepts. The cost of such a formation of the state was terrifying both for the regime, which witnessed a sharp drop in agricultural productivity in the region in the years following the famine, but especially for the Kazakh society itself, which suffered a disproportional burden of those killed as a result of the disaster.